With hurricane season here, it's important to get different perspectives on how best to prepare. We get the reports from our friends, the meteorology team at ABC Action News. How about some advice and insight from someone who provides homeowners insurance? We're joined by Jake Holehouse, CEO of HH Insurance. So great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to get right into it. I know that people are feeling stress going into this season after what we went through as a Tampa Bay area. And one of the best things you can do is say, what can I do to be prepared in the event? Start with your homeowner's insurance. What do you need to do? What steps, what advice do you have?
Absolutely. So, I think one of the big things is making sure you have a copy of your policy and emailing it to yourself so that it's in an electronic format. If you're evacuated, paper doesn't really help that much. Number two is have a plan. Have a plan of, watching the news, being able to follow the storm, being ready to evacuate. And then number three is take an annual video of your house. One of the biggest challenges we saw last year is people would go to fill out their form as to what was damaged, and 6 weeks later it's hard to remember. But if you have a video, you can kind of watch your room by room, get your itemized list put together, and the claim is still stressful, but it's a lot less stressful when you're able to fill those forms out in an easy way.
See, I bet a lot of people learned that step the hard way. These are the things we learned through that process. Okay, what about in the event of, if you have to file a claim, what steps do you need to take? How does that work?
Yeah, so I think one of the best things to do is most insurance carriers have an app at this point. Download that app, be ready and able to log into it. And what we found is that an insured was able to file a claim on the app in about 90 seconds. If they call in, that's where you hear the stories of 15 to 30 to 45-minute hold times. But doing that app, it puts you right in the queue, and then an adjuster typically contacts you in, 48 to 72 hours. It's a little longer with storm volume, but being able to do that really saves a lot of time for an insured.
And there you go, you have your documentation on the app that you've done it, you've taken care of it.
Exactly.
Can you explain, Jake, the difference between filing a claim for wind damage versus flood damage?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think really the easiest way to think about it is that wind damage basically comes from above and flood damage comes from below. So if water rises from the street into your house, that's flood insurance. That's separate from homeowners insurance. If water basically takes your roof off and comes into your house that way, that's a homeowners insurance windstorm type claim on there.
Okay, those are the differences. Now, it gets a little bit tricky when you talk about deductibles. I think that's one area where people are sometimes a little bit confused, but you can clarify for us.
Yeah, so in Florida, we actually have 2 deductibles in homeowners insurance. So you have your all other perils, that's like a fire or a theft claim, and then you have your hurricane deductible. Now, the hurricane deductible is a percentage of your home's value. So on a $300,000 home, a 2% deductible is a $6,000 deductible, and a 5% would be a $15,000 deductible. So you really want to know that deductible prior to storm season.
That makes sense. I love the way you walk us through this, Jake. You make it very easy to understand and give us a sort of comfort, a sense of comfort. And I'm sure your clients feel the same way when they call and find out about what their options are as far as different insurance. We have the information for you right there. Know your options and your coverage. There's the phone number. And of course, it is HH Insurance Group, and you can find them online as well. You're doing everything you can to help us get prepared for this season, taking the stress away. Thank you so much, Jake.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.